Oh, my coolest looking wand. Build. It looks so cool. I mean, look at this. Trying to fight me when I just walk through and I just... Cool. This is my wand. It's so much fun. So it's just programming this. You want to see the build? I'm gonna take you through the build. It's just a I feel like a demigod, you know? Like you have all the stuff. You do this stuff. All right, here's the build. Quick simple build tutorial in a complicated game. One flip pencil. There you go. All right. If we can get to where are we going? Oh. Sorry, these are my tunnels. You see, I adventure a lot sometimes. Here we are. This is where we're trying to end up. All right, this is my crafting area. I have all these resources here. Like, we could just grab a bunch of these, and then stack them all onto this wand. Look at this. Look how many of these things there are. All these multiple copy spell type things. I did play Deep Rock. That's a good point. Thank you, Cody. There you go, look at all these. You need to copy some spells? Boom. Okay, so here's the wand. This is how this crazy wand works. It's very simple. All we're going to pay attention to is this spark bolt with trigger. So you shoot it. It's one of these little purple things. And wherever it hits, see them fly out of my wand? Shoot me over there. Wherever they hit, they cast a trigger. So they cast a payload of something that's in them, right? That payload starts right here, and I'll explain everything else. Just follow me. They could just be right next to each other, and it can be very simple. I can make a whole example down here. We can have a, if you want to do example time, we can have a spark bolt trigger with a wand like this, and then you take it, and I'm just teaching now, but you click it, you shoot the purple one, and it they're switching because it's a shuffle, but you get the point. One fires the other, so it hits somewhere and it fires the other one. They're actually switching because it's a shuffle, but so you have that action going on. And so it has a payload inside of it, another spell that casts. So the payload inside the spark trigger is actually this 5 spell cast, Pentagon, right? So it casts 5 spells as the payload for the spark trigger. Well, what's the payload? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 5. So it casts 1, 2, 3, 4, because this is 4 spells, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. So from right here at the end of this last digging blast, not this, this whole thing is the payload. And so every single time one of these spark bolts hits somewhere, that is delivered. I don't have any more statues alive, I think, because the gods are very angry with me at this point. But if I did have a statue, I could shoot something and it would die very fast. And you probably saw me jumping around and one-tapping stuff just like that because of how much damage it does at this point. Yeah, the statue's gone. And then on top of that, we have basically increased lifetime for every single one of these. So you'll see these little blue swirling things are on screen for a very long time because the duration of a digging blast has been increased by these by a lot. We also have a damage field on it, which is the purple thing to damage stuff. Extra critical plus. We have our perks, which we have. I don't think it'll let me show you yet. Well, close call, additional crit from that as well. So a lot of these are critting. And these only do 3 damage, but the crit will increase the damage. This will increase, well, not really. There's some stuff that will increase the actual damage of the spell, which we could try to get in here, but it's pretty good. The triple spell which is what is cast by the wand, and the triple spell, the first spell of the spell group of triple spell is Spark Bolt. So it casts the Spark Bolt. The Spark Bolt has this entire payload, all the modifiers, the add mana, all of these modifiers, all the payload, all of this in one spell. One of the 3 spells from triple spell, right? I feel like I'm explaining this in a way that makes a lot of sense, you know? Because it's like, it looks very complicated, but you break it down. So then the second spell that triple spell is casting is this chainsaw is left on the end, separate. And I've done the math out, like with one of these taking up a slot and how many of these you can fit in here, because we have stacks of more digging blasts in lower things. We have stacks of black holes and stuff. We have stacks of digging blasts down there, but we're trying to find the most efficient way to do 5, 4, 4. So each one of these takes up a slot to get the biggest payload, because I have all of these to be able to utilize. Right, we could do 4, but it doesn't really matter because, like I said, it's a payload. But anyway, so the second spell that's cast is the chainsaw, and the cool thing about chainsaws is that they have a magical property, which is that they delete the cast delay of the spell cast. like of the spell group. No, if they are cast on the end in a spell group, there's no cast delay. And if you see, this adds 0.02 cast delay, 0.02 cast delay, 0.02 cast delay, and that adds up. And so like where the chainsaws themselves are taking away 0.17 recharge time, which gets the wand recharge time down to enough to be able to go. Right, but the last chainsaw is what's getting rid of the extra cast delay, so it can be literally shooting once per frame, right? So we have once per frame this payload. Now the only actually no, yeah. So if this were on a, you can do something pretty cool, where you go like one of these. You can do something very cool where you can do spell wrapping, and so what you'll see happening is that in this situation, right? If we only have one chainsaw, this chainsaw is actually doing double duty here. And so this wand is going to, if it wasn't a shuffle, this wand is going to cast a chainsaw, which is going to lower the recharge time by 0.17. And then this chainsaw, or then it's going to cast the triple spell. The triple spell is going to grab this spark bolt trigger spell, and then it's going to say, okay, I'm looking for another spell. Let me like wrap, and it can wrap one spell and grab the next spell. It can actually wrap multiple spells, but not, only to fill the card, not to grab another payload, I believe. It's been a minute. It hasn't been applicable because it's weird. But so it casts the chainsaw once, and then there's another chainsaw that gets placed here by the triple looking for another spell, and it wraps a spell, and so you can get the 0.17 casted twice to lower the recharge time. The only problem with trying to make something very fast with something like this is that you're actually doing you're losing half of your DPS from something like this to it being every other frame instead of every frame, because this one will cast every frame the way I have it set up, whereas this one will cast every other frame, because one frame it'll cast, even if you have zero the cast delay and recharge time, it'll cast chainsaw one frame, and then chainsaw, or it'll cast the triple the next frame. So this is one spell group cast for a frame, this is one spell group cast for a frame. So it's a lot. There's a lot of garbage in programming stuff. We can just go drop this one acid spell on a boss real quick to kill him. I do need to go finish with the heart mage. Oh, my black hole wand just has a bunch of accelerating stuff: speed up, accelerating shot, light shot, and then an empty black hole and a Greek letter spell, which are really rare in late game. I got one from the egg boss, and he is the Gamma. So he casts a copy of the last spell in your wand. So we apply the modifiers to Gamma, and Gamma doesn't care about the 0. He just casts this spell. The only problem with the way it's set up, like I said, is oh wait, no, I can totally fix that. What am I doing? Give me a triple. So my current problem with this setup was that when I fire it, it shoots fine, and then there's that cast delay pop up. I assume because it's trying to cast the spell group of empty black hole. And so all we have to do to fix that is just add the spell to get to the same spell group, right? So now, organization, right? But now it's the same spell group. This black hole is that. So we should just be able to fire it correctly. And it goes for miles. With just these speed upgrades, even with just these first two, or any two of these really, it'll go so far. I think I have an example of it right here. With just two of them, because I didn't have this light shot till recently, with just speed up and accelerating shot on my normal black hole before. Yeah, here's the example. I stood at the edge of the thing there and shot. And you see how there's this line in the brickwork where there's this cool pattern? Like, look, like there's literally a line, right? That's because the Holy Mountain knows how far you can like walk. So I walked all the way to the edge. You shoot, and it stops at the line. I guess I don't. I could have walked a little bit farther. I'm sort of a little confused, but I assume this is the edge of where your game loads. Like you load all the pixels simulating like the water falling down and stuff around you, but they don't generate at the same time because you can go all these places. And so I assume this is the edge of what is currently being rendered by the powder toy engine. There's also a room that's rendered by the powder toy engine, so we can't look at it in code, and it's part of one of the biggest Easter eggs that's going on. But like, look, I can stand right here. I think, yeah, should be able to stand right here inside the normal area, and fire. So if we follow this one, it went down a little bit. I think that was the edge of the normal area, like the shop though, Play Mountain. Yeah, see, this one went past, so I guess it does go farther now. The stopping point is very strange that speed up and accelerating shot land perfectly on the line. It's like halfway through it, so I'm very confused about. Maybe it's because we were following it. This one looks like it's going though. See, this one ends on this line. So what are these rendering lines? Why does it end perfectly on this? I guess this stuff hadn't rendered in at the time. That's you see what I'm saying? But it doesn't quite make sense. And then we just have all this. So yeah, and then we just need a teleport bolt. That's the build. And we have to go do the heart mage trick again with air here. Probably talked way too much. Yeah, that's the build. It's cool. It's like programming, isn't it? I know it's a lot to listen to, but you know, it's a long run. I don't know how. I've spent a lot of people can do runs and get to this point a lot faster than I can, but I don't know. I take it slow. I've done in Hisi base. There's like metal platforms all around, and I've done clearing rooms where I literally just with a wand that maybe lags less and has less of these purple things. But you literally just do this on all of the different random metal edges and pieces. You paint the whole edge. And I had a long video of me doing a whole metal room for a sec, and talking about how, you know, sometimes you just have to clear a room. But this is my triangle I just did. So you just clean everything. You clean all the meat, all the like snow rock off of it, and you just literally clear. So like you can go through and like clear a whole floor. Like sometimes like I'll just clear the whole first floor when I'm getting a good like RPG run and I'm having fun and I want to go throw a tablet at some, you know, fire witch and go see what wands I can find on the first floor. Make a little something, find some loot, find some teleport bolts or something for later in the run. So I clear the whole first floor and get to my dark cave, and so I'll spend a lot of time full clearing the whole thing, killing every single enemy. So like I've had 10-hour runs where I've only beat a few bosses after finishing the game. And not got that much progress done, but like it's a 10-hour run because I literally had 3 biomes that didn't have a single enemy left at the end of them, because I like not this, you know, not obviously like this, but I cleared them. I killed every enemy. So you could do what I was telling Air is you could do the crazy part, and this is the main thing I want to say. You could do an entire biome like this. You could walk through an entire Hisi base in a world and make sure every single surface is done and clear it. Like not just no enemies left, but like every surface is black. You know what I mean? Like you've shot every surface like this for some reason, painting. It's very crazy. You can go far, but all the Easter eggs and the bosses and then the dying to everything, learning how programming works, very fun all around. Didn't need 100% consistency with that. Consistency with what? What, where these land? Oh yeah, it's so strange why the things render there. I guess you're right. They don't have to render at the exact spot, but I don't know why my black hole would be any indicator of it. It's very strange phenomenon. I've also had another one where like stuff gets all pixelated. I've tried to Google it and I can't find it. Maybe I can say both of these things. So we have the black hole thing, and then the this where it's like you see how we have like the generation is just like green, brown. I might have an example of it down here if we give me a second, but I'll be able to put it up on screen, I guess. So much work for myself. Where it just scrambles it all. Like it looks like some black goop falls on it. Oh, my heart mage. We have to do that. Like some black goop falls on the terrain, and then it scrambles it all. So you'll see like green mixed in with brown. They don't have like straight lines and like rock formations like this. Like they're all just goobled up, like it's just random pixels. You know what I mean? Because this is like pixel art. Like it flows together. It gets all scrambled. It's such a strange thing to look at, because these walls look scrambled, and I know it happened in this biome, but they really are. It's like scrambled per pixel rather than scrambled per like green and brown, and having the brown have these nice lushness to them. I don't know where I've dropped it though. I don't have a teleport one, so it'll be a hot minute to start heading this way. There's nothing over here. I've already killed the dragon, so these seas of blood. Okay, but why? Because it's cool. Because you can. I got in the mood to do like a YouTube video segment type thing, and you got me in the heat of passion. Sorry, I didn't mean to like be a dig or anything.
Yeah, bro.
I figured you got what was going on there.
I was trying to tell you to get out of here.
This is what I'm talking about.
What? What are we doing?
It was like this, but it scrambled them instead of deleting them.
Look, I think it's time to play this game.
Which game?
Dungeon Defenders.
You gonna play Dungeon Defenders?
Yeah, teach me.
Let's play Dungeon Defenders. I don't know how to play it. We're just gonna be playing Dungeon Defenders. Cody, if Dungeon Defenders is free, come play Dungeon Defenders.
Oh yeah, complete Dungeon Defenders, Cody.
It's free.